Hi, welcome to the podcast Ease into Clarity. I'm Dr. Divi, family doctor turned intuitive coach, and I'm here to help you. In this podcast, we will learn mental techniques, emotional techniques, and spiritual techniques to change daily problems. So maybe it's your husband, your boss, your coworker, your kids, they're driving you crazy. You can email me any of your questions and I will use all the techniques I've learned over the years and help you. Grab your hot chocolate and make sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon. Ciao. Hello, and welcome to your podcast, Ease into Clarity. And my name is Dr. Divi. Thank you for being here. So welcome. Today is week 3 of the mind. And as I said to you last week, it's a really hot one today. I teach a lot of in-person workshops, as you probably know. And this topic I'm about to teach is something that it's a massive shift for people when they start to understand it. And I actually taught a workshop in Horseshoe Bay recently. And one of the clients said, Divi, why don't you do a podcast about this? I'm like, I don't know. I just never thought of it. So in previous podcasts, we talked a lot about what's called the victim triangle. And just to remind you, 99% of our society runs on what's called the victim triangle. It won't take you long to think about it. Just think about it for a second. There's the victim, there's the bully, and then there's the hero. Now, within this triangle, you can take on more than one corner at a time. I'll give you a couple examples in a second. So at 1 second, in your relationship, say with your partner or your kid, you might be the hero. Then in the same relationship, you're the victim, and the next second, you're the bully. So it can all happen in the same relationship, changing your hats. But you can also take on all 3 roles within yourself. The common example I give, I go on the scale, I've gained 5 pounds, I'm a victim. The bully is, I then bully myself. You should have eaten all that ice cream. Then I'm the hero because I'm at the gym the next day. Faster than I can snap my fingers, I've had all 3 of those thoughts. Victim, bully, hero. How do you break this triangle? You stop seeing anybody as a victim. How do you do that? How do you stop seeing yourself as a victim? Really interesting question. No one likes that word. I know I hate that word. But I want to remind you, victim, powerless, depression, anxiety are all a very similar energy. And guilt and grief and disempowerment are right there with it. So let's talk about the common example. Oh, I feel powerless, or I feel like, I feel just like, maybe you wouldn't use the word powerless, but I'm strapped to my kid's schedule. I'm just giving you an example. I got to go pick them up again. It's like drive them here, drive them there. You can see the emotion I'm feeling as powerless. Then I pick them up, then I drive them there, then they want my bank card. How many times have you heard that story? Maybe yourself, maybe your best friend. Oh, but who am I? I can't not. I'm a mom. I have to, and that's guilt. If I don't, then something's wrong. Well, but they want me again. I'm back to powerless. So people typically go to powerless and guilt, and they revolve. So sometimes they'll get angry. God damn it, kids. God damn it. And then right away, I shouldn't be thinking that thought. That's a bad thought as a mom. And that's guilt again. So you may have heard me say this before, but powerless, depression, anxiety, victim energy are all on the bottom of the emotional scale. Again, not wrong, just something we're trained into. When we look out in the world, we put the TV on the news on and we watch pretty much a lot of sitcoms. There's like a powerless character. Then there's a bully character. So we've been trained into this way of thinking. Then we put on Oprah and she's in joy. We're like, how did she get there? It's all her money. And then we just let it go. We go, it's all her. So powerless is the bottom. And then to move up, rage and anger are the next big steps, but we're not often taught this. And then after anger, I'm going to teach you very shortly on how to move up from anger, but powerless to anger is the hardest jump you'll do. The problem is we have a million reasons not to feel angry. Anger is not safe, somebody would say to me. Or I'm a girl. Why am I to be angry? I've been given everything. Why should I be angry? Typically is what a lot of clients say to me. Or anger is not safe. How do I express anger? I don't know. What do I do with the anger if I'm not going to get angry? What I've discovered in my workshops in person and online, but especially in person, that anger actually moves the energy. And an emotion is energy in motion. So anger gives it the permission to move. what I say to almost every parent when I'm coaching them on this, I'll say, would you rather have your kid sitting in the middle of the room angry, or would you rather have your kid behind the door not knowing what they're feeling? Almost everybody would say, I'd rather have my kid angry. It's just part of the process that anger feels better than powerless. But because we're afraid of anger, we don't go there enough. And what I always find is that anger is scary at first, but if you have healthy techniques, you can move it, because there's healthy anger and unhealthy anger. When you start to get a hold of a healthy anger, then it can move. So what typically happens in my retreats and my one-day workshops, and I'm going to tell you straight up, it's not my favorite thing. Clients don't have to do this, but they'll be surprised when they just kind of, act, and then before they know it, they start to move it. So, in the first few hours, my guides take me there. I'm like, oh, great, we're running the anger stuff, and I'll teach 4 or 5 techniques, and I'll get them all to do that, from screaming to cat cow and making those lion's breath faces to punching, like this, to boxing, to pushing. These are all different techniques I teach. But what it does is the more physical the technique is, the more the energy can move. And you actually see the client's face. There's a shift in their face, a shift in their aura, almost like a freedom. You don't want to stay there. And what's really interesting is when I'll get clients there, sometimes the next day they'll be like, oh, I can't feel that. They'll go right back to guilt. But they often feel better with anger. So again, find a healthy way to express anger. Hit a punching bag, do something. What most moms will tell you is, yes, they know anger, but it's unhealthy. They're constantly bitching at their kids. I would say that's unhealthy, but it's anger they don't want to experience by just bitching at their kids all the time. So, and it just comes out in those little passive aggressive comments. No one likes those. So anger, finding a healthy expression is the key. Now, what do you do now that you have anger? Think of a blank piece of paper and think of a line in the middle of the page, below the line and above the line. Below the line, at the very bottom, you're powerless, and you get to anger, and that's the line. Okay? In fact, one of my clients said to me, and I'm sharing with this because I'm hoping you'll share this podcast with your friends, or this idea with your friends. Everybody knows somebody who's suffering with depression and anxiety. Everyone knows somebody who's struggling. What almost everybody who has it has said to me is they've never, ever, ever seen a healthcare practitioner who said, get angry. We're like so afraid of anger as a society that we don't. But when I let them do it in a contained, safe environment, they feel better. But now they need to learn how to go above the line. So if you have somebody suffering from it, send them this podcast, please. And if they discover a healthy way to release the anger, they'll feel better. But you got to listen to the other half too. So imagine a line here, and underneath it is powerless and anger. And the ego loves this stuff. The ego, in fact, loves powerless the most. And the ego loves to sleep with guilt, best friend ever. But there's a line here. Now you're in anger, and you know how to go from powerless to anger. Now what do? This is a very spiritual concept, so it can take people time to understand. You were born of love. You were born as a child of God, and you have infinite empowerment in your little finger. A thought is manifestation. The thoughts create. You are a child of God. You were born as a child of God, and that's who you are, and you will always be. And the only reason you're angry is because you have forgotten you're that. Crazy, right? So the only reason I get angry at somebody else is because I'm angry at myself. And the only reason I'm angry at myself is because I have forgotten I have the divine. Now, to hold that upper level, that takes a lot of deliberate mental work. It's like the course of all the classes I teach, from the healing lab to my in-person retreats to so on and so forth. But the reason it takes time to understand that concept is because it's like I need to rewire your mind to really have you know, believe, see, and feel that you are that divine. And when you let yourself feel the anger, then it's easier to feel that, because most of us revel in powerlessness, even the spiritual realm. We're like, oh, it's the full moon today. Of course I'm losing my mind. Or Mercury's in retrograde. And that all could be very accurate and true, and sure that that's impacting you. I never deny that. But it's a very common way for spiritual people to go powerless. Oh, my husband did this to me. We go powerless. Oh, I didn't figure out, the universe is teaching me a lesson. Powerless. Get yourself to anger and then realize, oh, the only thing I forgot is that I'm a child of God, and that's really what I'm angry about. Let me forgive that thought that I'm separate from the divine. If there's anything wrong with me, broken about me, let me forgive that. And that's how you get above the line to recognizing your spirit, to knowing that you're a child of God, to knowing that you're the creator, to knowing that you are of the divine, for the divine, of love and for love. So please, this is such a powerful tool and technique to giving your friends, family, permission to find anger in a healthy way, but don't stop there. Then go, where did I forget that I am the creator, and forgive that. That's how you get above the line. I hope this helped you. And this is, again, one of my other favorite mind tools, because our mind loves to revel in powerlessness. We're like, he's doing it to me. I'm powerless. What am I supposed to do? I'm powerless. I'm powerless. Recognize it. Maybe don't use the word victim because no one likes that word. I'm powerless to my thoughts. No, you're not. Get angry. Let the peace occur in your mind after you're angry, and then go, oh, really, I've forgotten I'm spirit. Let me forgive myself. That is an overview of things so, so, so powerful. I'm sending you lots and lots of love. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for joining me in this podcast, Ease into Clarity. It is such a joy, pleasure, and honor to be in your living room. What I would love is if you follow me on Instagram, DRDIVI, or go to my website, DRDIVI.com, or write a review. That would be even more amazing. Thank you. If you really enjoyed this podcast, feel free to share it with friends, family. Tell them to follow me, because I think the more of us that listen to the fact that each of us can start to shift, each of us can shift mental things, emotional things, spiritual shift, to shift our daily reality. When more and more of us do it, we get a better planet. We get more love. We get more happiness. We get more joy. So I'd love it if you followed. I'd love it if you shared this, because it would be such a joy and an honor. And again, if you have a question, guess what? I'm here for you. So send me an email, easeintoclarity@gmail.com. And as they come in, I will answer them in podcasts that are subsequent, whether it be your boss, your relationship, your husband, whatever. That's what I'm here for. Because the more of us that learn really simple mental techniques, really simple spiritual techniques, we change the physical reality we live in. Pretty soon, we have more peace, more ease, more joy, trickling across the whole world. Remember, there's a spiritual solution for every problem. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.